All right, howdy. Welcome to the shortest day of the year because of the fact they take an hour from us, unless you're in Arizona or you're in Saskatchewan, in which case, hi. Um, so there's just a few things to talk about today. First off, Voracek's having a hearing for a hit to the head on Johnny Boychuk. I've watched the hit numerous times, and I'm not sure why this is a hearing, other than because it was five. I think there's an automatic with 5 games if it's ruled as a hit to the head. I think it's an automatic that there's a hearing. I'm not sure on that, but at any rate, yeah, Voracek. Um, I don't see anything there. It was Boychuk running into his back, if anything else, as far as I was concerned. Now, the other hearing we're having today is Jack Eichel for a head hit on Soderberg. On the surface of it, they look very similar, but I think Eichel's may very well get him a game. And I say a game because he doesn't have a previous history. He's not a dirty player. It's just one of those things that happens. I could see him ending up getting a game for it. It was, and there's a lot of Buffalo fans that say, well, what about the Zadorov hit? The Zadorov, that was just late. It was after the whistle, and it was two for ripping off his helmet. That's not a suspendable offense at all. I found it weird. The only reason I found it weird was because the Colorado announcers were big on Zadorov and that hit, and I thought that's strange because it's a penalty, so it's strange. But again, that's just me looking from the outside as un I don't want to say unbiased, just uninterested in either team from a standard of me cheering for one over the other. I should have just said unbiased. It's way easier. Anyways, yeah, I could see Eichel getting a game. I really can't see Voracek getting anything. He didn't, I get it. Boychuk's hurt, and Barry Trotz has said he's questionable for their next game. Highly questionable. And the way he was pointing like he was going to WrestleMania, as Voracek said in the post-game interview, yeah, he probably wasn't completely all there at the time. His mind was kind of hazy. Because I've watched Johnny Boychuk for years. I've never seen him like that. But again, if he thinks a guy's targeting his head, sure, that'll probably make you lose your mind a little bit. I didn't mention these in previous videos on their own. So yes, Erik Karlsson's out till the playoffs. This would be major news for any team that didn't have Brent Burns on it, or a major, defenseman. Like if he was in Tampa, you've still got Hedman, McDonough. There are still enough defensemen in San Jose to make up for this. The one thing I will say with Erik Karlsson is this. So, major problems with his foot. That seems to have been straightened out. I haven't seen anything with his skating this year that tells me that his foot is not 100%. But now he's dealing with another injury. So, if you're looking at him as a UFA this summer, does his injury history drop the amount of years you're going to offer him? Does it drop the amount of money you're going to offer him? He only has 3 goals this year. He had 9 last year. So it would seem that his goal scoring days are either down or done. So either he's having a couple of down years as a goal scorer, or he's just not a goal scorer anymore. One or the other, right? So that may very well influence his value as well. If you know you're going to get a defenseman who's going to put up 55, 60 assists and about 5-8 goals, I don't know. It's a little different than what Karlsson was putting up before, right? Gabriel Landeskog out 4 to 6 weeks. I didn't do a news video where I mentioned that. The Abs are in a tough position. That being said, sometimes overcoming adversity through injury can really galvanize a team. I was watching last night on Hockey Night in Canada, and they were talking about how remarkable it was that Patrice Bergeron has only ever received 4 votes for a Hart Trophy, and they weren't first place votes either. That's not remarkable to me, and the reason it's not remarkable to me is not because I underestimate Patrice Bergeron. The guy's amazing, but whenever he gets hurt, the Bruins are fine. And this is because the Bruins have a lineup set up so that they're able to absorb the loss of any one player, like Pastrnak over the last few weeks, for instance. But I'm not necessarily surprised that Bergeron doesn't generate Hart votes, since he doesn't score points like the other guys do. He is not a big old superstar. He's not really a big talker. He just goes out there, does his job, and goes home. And his two-way game is fantastic. It's on point. I can't remember the last time I watched a Bruins game and I got mad at Bergeron for a boneheaded play. I don't remember ever getting mad at him over a boneheaded play. Whereas I've been mad at Marchand. Defensively, I know Pasternak's had moments where I'm like, that probably wasn't that great. But Bergeron, no. So just throwing that out there. The NCAA signings are going to start today. There's a good chance that William Lockwood will sign with the Canucks. Quinn Hughes will sign with the Canucks in all likelihood too, and a lot of others NCAA guys too. So I always see people saying, well, we don't want to burn a year on the contract. Why are they going to burn a year on the contract? You got Seattle coming in, don't burn a year on the contract. NCAA players have way more power than the junior age players, and I got into this last night in the video as well. Whereas if you're in the NCAA and you don't sign a contract with the team that drafted you, you can become an unrestricted free agent. You still have to sign an entry-level contract, but a good example is Jimmy Vesey. Vesey goes to the Rangers. Will Butcher ends up going to the New Jersey Devils. Alex Kerfoot goes to Colorado. There have been enough NCAA guys who've gone, Jake Gardner. He did that as well. Enough of the NCAA guys who said Justin Schultz. Did Jake Gardner do it as well? I think he did. I know Justin Schultz did. Anyways, there's been enough guys who've gone to the free agent route because they don't necessarily like what a team's offering them, that their agent can basically say, all right, Quinn's good to go. You have to sign him now. But if he's going to forego his last year of university, you're burning that first year of the contract. And if a team says, no, we don't want to burn that first year of the contract, we want to keep control over him for that extra year, an agent's response will likely be fine. He'll just go back to college, and if he becomes a free agent, so be it. We can wait this out, and then he can go wherever he wants. So a GM really doesn't have any power in negotiations with the NCAA players other than making that decision. The one thing that you can do is if you as a GM look at a guy at the NCAA level and go, he's really not progressing the way we thought he would, you don't offer him a contract, and then he goes as a free agent anyways, and you're not really going to worry about it. But so that's why we see those contracts getting burned. And don't be surprised when you see a bunch of these guys come in and they're right at the NHL level right away. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. We're also going into the NCAA part of the year where there's going to be free agents out there. There's going to be a lot of hype about these free agents and what these guys can do. I always have very guarded optimism regarding them. In most cases, the guys who become free agents from the NCAA, especially those that were undrafted, there's some hole in their game, whether it's offensive or defensive. They're likely never going to be a big star player. They may end up being a useful top 9 guy, or in the case of defensemen, might be a top 6 defenseman, but I'm very kind of on the fence with it. The most interesting one, of course, is that Kerfoot and Butcher switched teams. It was kind of like a trade between the Avs and the Devils at the time. So there you go. Just a little bit of talk about the NCAA players and how they hold more power than the junior age players. And you have to wonder if in the next collective bargaining agreement, would the NHLPA come out and say, it'd be nice if junior players could do that too. So there's just something that, I could just throw in there, that since the NCAA guys have that ability to go free agent, why not let junior age players, why not let CHL guys do it too? It's so weird to me that you have some players that are able to do that because they're going to college, university, and other players that through playing junior hockey, they can't do the same thing. So anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.